My legacy is to impact people in a positive light. Know that they're not alone. They have people by their side, even if they're not by their side. Like, just know they're not alone in this. I got to San Francisco State. I didn't know what to do. I was distracted by a million things. And, I was used to that. And then once I got to San Francisco, I was just like, what do Taja want? What do Taja love? Where do Taja want to go? I didn't know that. Well, I was working in a hospital and I used to have anxiety attacks, and it was so much stuff going on that I couldn't really control myself. So I had the ability, I called my therapist. Being yourself, being your authentic self and showing up, just your best. Even if you're not at your best, therapy, it brings up a lot of stuff. And once you bring up a lot of stuff and you're already kind of sad with the things that's going on right now, and you bringing up the past stuff that you got going on, you need to kind of
What's up, everyone? You already know this is Alan Ruelas, and we have the one and only
Taja Chapman.
And we're gonna go ahead and get started with the details, everything you need to know. Best believe we are here vibing. So yes. Taja, tell me a little bit about what you want people to know. Tell us about your company, and we'll get started with that, and we'll jump into further questions. So if you have your drinks, you have your popcorns, we're gonna get started, all right? So let's pass over the mic to Taja.
Yes. Hi, Alan. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you coming here this morning and helping me out with this.
It feels surreal, like we're in Hollywood.
I know, right? For real.
And best believe we're going to talk about why happiness looks good on you.
Yes. So first I wanted to start off with, this is a organization. I would say it's a whole company because it's an organization and a brand as well. But I just wanted to make it, grow. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just wanted it to be something that everybody can contribute to and everybody can get impacted from, basically. So basically, this is my company called Happiness Looks Good on You. It's based on a time basically promoting mental health awareness, and it's the struggles, basically what I went through when I was younger till adulthood now. So basically I'm just promoting, I keep on saying basically, I'm so sorry, but
we're basically doing it. And you're basically the CEO of your company.
Yes.
And that's what people need to fixate on. They need to focus on, you starting your business. And so tell me, like, I'm assuming, right, resiliency is something that's part of like your company, right? So a lot of people deal with mental health. What made you take that first initiative where it's like, I am going through something, but now I'm going to make it something? I feel like a lot of people could relate to that.
Okay. So when I just moved to San Francisco, I've never been alone. This was my first time being alone. It was new for me. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know what to do.
Basically, it was new for you.
Right. Yes, it was new for me. I was alone and I didn't know what to do, but anxiety started popping up, and depression. I had a lot of times when I just wanted to go to the hospital because I didn't know what was wrong with me. And, it was during a time everybody had their COVID, but I feel like I had my own separate COVID because when I moved to San Francisco, that's when I caught it. And then I had to go to a different dorm and everything. So this is a time when school was not even in. We were still online. But I decided to move out there because I wanted to get away from everybody. And I just wanted to, start, a new life. So basically, I just started, watching YouTube. YouTube was my jam, and I was just looking up stuff on how to take care of yourself. I was very spiritual, I believe in God. So I started going to him more. And then, I don't know, I just started walking around area I didn't even know of. I started walking and I started running. I just started doing all these different activities to help me. And I was just like, wow, I can help other people with this, but I didn't really get to the point where I wanted to help other people first. It was more of like helping myself. Like, I need to come out of this. So what can I do to get out of this anxiety and depression? Because I didn't really have depression like that at the time. I had more of anxiety. So Yeah, it was rough. It was definitely rough out there. But once school started back, I had this class. It was a GUAR class, and she wanted us to create our own organization. So I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna call it? And then something clicked, and it was like, happiness looks good on you. And I was just like, this just can't be for me. Like, what? I was like, God gave me this. Like, this is meant for me. And I'd never been passionate about anything, Alan. This was the only thing that I was passionate about ever in my life. And I was just like, let me just get to it. It took me a minute I had to write literally down the mission statement, to researching everything that I had to research for this project. And it was like a 15-page paper. And I did everything, like from top to bottom. I went to tutoring, and I ended up getting an A. And I was like, I want to do this. Like, I really, for real, want to help kids, because I feel like my mental issues didn't start just like right now. It been started when I was younger, when I was in middle school. And so, I started writing about the time when I was middle school, how we didn't have the resources, and we didn't have anything. Because where I come from Watts. If y'all did not know, I'm from Watts, California, LA baby for sure. And
Clock it.
Clock it.
Basically, clock it.
Yeah. And we didn't have the support. And my mom was a single parent and 5 kids in a house, and not having just having the resources, or, having somebody to coach us through this life thing, or coach us through our emotions, really. It was hard. And I didn't have that until I got to college. So, yeah.
That's what we meant.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
Basically.
When somebody told me, they was like, yeah, Anita from Norco College. She told me about therapy, and I was just like, okay, let me get into it. And
Like, what is that?
Right, like, what is therapy? I didn't know what therapy was, you know? So
No, I grew up in a similar background.
Yeah.
Related to like mental health, adversities, if you will. Not to get too deep, right? Because, today we're going to be focused on you. But I feel like a lot of the resources aren't readily available, unfortunately, especially for communities that are underrepresented, if you will. And I think that this is a great step into a direction, right, where you are, building your company, and how that can help, the youth. Yeah. I think that if we're really focusing on a demographic, of course, we would love to talk about, us and our peers. But I think it's very outstanding the fact that you're focusing also on the youth, the next coming generation, because sometimes when for instance, you're saying Watts, right? I'm from Fontana. A lot of the times I wish that there would be like mental health check-ins, right? Not necessarily where it's like so serious. Maybe like bringing some puppies, bringing like something where it's a little bit like friendly to the consumer. And I feel like when we're talking about, availability and comfortability, just looking at your logo, I was talking about how just the sun in it of itself gives me that good vibe, but also like other people can start to really resonate, especially with your story, right? Yeah. I think that when people are thinking about what is going on in today's pop culture and culture in general, they're kind of like asking these questions. They're like, oh my gosh. And then you start feeling these feelings, and you're like, what do I do? But I think that leads me to my next question. So when you're having those moments, you shared about, how you're coming up, with your organization, people that have influenced you, what got you there. What would you say is a ritual that helps you, bring you back to feeling okay? Or how would you say that it helps you to be in a better position mentally?
I'll say this. So I started, a ritual for me is I started walking. I started running as well. I also prayed. I read the Bible, even though I wasn't really good at reading the Bible. I'm not gonna lie. So you're gonna lie to you.
I used to grab it. I would like one page, summarize.
Right.
Grandma, here you go.
Right. But I was watching sermons, because it was times where, the anxiety would just tell you to give up. So I was watching sermons. I did a walk and run, and then I come back in the house and do a 30-minute like routine on YouTube, and then I will freaking What else? I would stretch. I would meditate.
A lot of people don't talk about like what they did during the COVID time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I isolated, but like I went through like I felt like a caterpillar. I went I transformed into a whole I felt like I reached the best version of myself.
Yes.
I don't know.
No, I feel like I did too, you know, and then I went back to doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to do as well too, you know, so it's like when you're so used to being alone and then you go back to your old ways, it's just like all that.
Did you have that too, friend? Where
What?
it's like you get used to you get too comfortable with being alone, and then you walk up to people and you're like, I need my own space now. Like,
Yeah, I got used to being alone. It was very lonely out there. I ended up meeting some friends, and I was happy about that. But I was used to that. But then once you start getting back to your old ways, or if you start hanging out with people that you know that doesn't really recognize you anymore, and like you're a whole new person now, it's just like I was the person, I can say I was the person that was reverting back to my old ways, and not because of the people, but just because, you know, I probably felt like it was like, oh, like I still want to be friends with y'all, you know, or I still want to be there for you guys, and I should have just stayed myself, you know, and with that being said, my bad. I'm like, we got it.
It's good to talk about these things too, because it's like we're only human.
Yeah.
And I feel like with these habits that we're talking about, like you shared, even like friends are part of your daily routine.
Yeah, they are.
So I think it's good for people to understand that when we're human, you know, we work on ourselves, but even our mental health is influenced by people around us. So it's like, you know, we'll talk about that. But before we jump into that, I also wanted to ask, you know, what legacy do you want to leave with your work? So I know as a, you know, I'm going to call you a young CEO, you know, because that's what you are. You deserve your flowers, nothing but positivity. What legacy do you want to leave for your body of work here with your company?
I wanted to leave impact. I want people to I actually want to save people's life, because I know how like mental health can really trigger people. I know how far people can get down the deep end, or the deep end, the deep road, whatever. I know how like hard it is to come back up. So my legacy is to impact people in a positive light, know that they're not alone, and they have people by their side, even if they're not by their side. Like just knowing that they're not alone in this at the end of the day, because we all go through these mental challenges and it's hard, but it's so important to just, you know, have the faith and not give up, because it's always going to be something else. It's always going to be something. But as long as you keep on going and don't give up, that's all that matters. And I really want to save people's life for my legacy. I really do.
As we were talking about therapy earlier in the episode, you know, we were talking about how it's important and it can save lives, right?
Yeah.
We need the professionals. You know, we have all that available. Taja. So something that I wanted to share with you, and we talked about this before, and I know that we were talking about it earlier too, is representation within therapy. So it's like, for me, I found someone, like I shared earlier, and I also wanted to, you know, open up that conversation with you, because I feel like this is your platform. This is your time to talk about, you know, how that could impact people. So what would you say is that impact also for you in therapy?
So in therapy, I have my different experiences with all races. You know, I had white, Chinese, Asian, Black. Now I do feel like it's so important to have a therapist that's the same race as you, just because they understand where you come from and they know the culture of everything like that. It's really important. But even if you don't have that same, race as you, that's okay too, as long as you having somebody there. Now, when I experienced therapy from, like, to be honest, TBH,
uncensored.
I feel like
okay,
I've just noticed, I've been in therapy for 5 years now.
Okay.
And I have multiple therapists. Okay. And mainly I come to them for everyday activities, or like just things that I'm going through, like in the moment. You know, we have, but we haven't reached to, like from the childhood. But I know how important it is, and I know how much it's helping me now, and also my other friends as well that's in therapy. And I feel like I said before, when I do therapy, it's like
You said to be honest.
right, like it's a now thing. So I'm just telling them what's going on in the now. Like, say for example, I was working in a hospital and I used to have anxiety attacks, and it was so much stuff going on that I couldn't really control myself. So I had the ability, like I called my therapist, and like she calmed me down. You know, sometimes therapist just calms you down, you know, and that's good enough for that moment. You know what I'm saying? And you know, everybody has different types of therapists. When I talked to my friend Tyson, he was like, "Oh, my therapist do this and that and that." I'm like, "What? Like, what my therapist doing?" You know, like, what's going on? I love my therapist, and I feel like everybody's is just different. Our journeys are all different. You know, I say therapy is really important, though, for sure. It do help. It do change lives. It is a big impact that I feel like it's a need in our community, in each community that's out here, whatever race you are. It's definitely a need for everybody. Even if you just want to try it once, just try it once and see how you like it. Or actually, don't try it. I say go to five sessions, y'all. 5 sessions. You got to do 5 sessions, because if you just do it once, you're gonna be like, okay, like this bitch just asking me a whole bunch of questions. Like, what is this? No, you need to actually get into it to see if you really like them. And if you don't, you can always change to a different therapist. It's like dating. That's what they say.
That's the best way to put it.
It is.
It's understandable, if you know. But someone that I did want to talk about, because I feel like I look up to her a lot, is Keke Palmer.
Okay.
And then, of course, I know she's look, either you love her or you don't, but my girl, Selena Gomez.
Okay.
I talk about her.
Oh, yeah, I love Selena Gomez's story.
But the reason I share that with you is because, you know, as you're doing your company, you know, they also have companies. But something that I found very powerful is, like, for instance, not to go on a tangent here, but like with Selena Gomez, she has like Rare Beauty, and it's tied with mental health. Revolutionary. When I see Keke Palmer on the podcast or her show, I see a whole lot of mental health, you know? And they also have the opportunity to talk to people, but also like bring what they've learned to the table.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. So happiness looks good on you. To our listeners, let me tell y'all something. I'm never going to get tired of saying that. Happiness looks good on you. But anyways, the idea here is, Taja, representation does matter. Do you agree?
Yes, I do.
I agree too. My message for all the listeners here is basically, you know, when you go out into therapy, we advocate for therapy, right? So you could get help from professionals.
Yes.
Because that can save lives, right? Getting help, especially when you're in a crisis. What would you say to your listeners, at least your experience in finding the one, that therapist? For me, it was finding someone that looks like me, to make that connection between mental health and not feeling like, you know, this crazy person. You know, tell us a little bit more about that, you know?
I can say that for sure. For me also too, finding somebody that looks for me, because it took me a minute to find. I finally have her, but it took me a minute to find somebody that looks like me. That's important. And also just somebody that understands where you're coming from, not from like a race perspective, but just like alternative like perspective.
Yeah, the intersectionality.
Yeah, and that will just dig deep. You know, but like dig deep at the right times, because my therapist was mainly for like the moments like of now, like what was going on in my life at the time. You know, they really didn't dive deep like I wanted them to. But sometimes it's important not to go that like far deep in if you're not okay, like in the moment, because then that can bring up a lot of can of worms. You know, therapy, it brings up a lot of stuff. And once you bring up a lot of stuff and you're already kind of sad with the things that's going on right now, and you bringing up the past stuff that you got going on, you need to kind of manage that. So like have the therapist that actually knows not to bring up past stuff too much. Just know when the time is right, basically, because I feel like I used to rush, and one of the therapists be like, come here, like, let me rush into this, like, let's dive deep right now. But like, no, you need to kind of settle down, like, so just be aware of that. I know everybody, I feel like we in a generation now where we all want to heal. And that's me too. Shoot, I want to heal real bad,
I
and
don't want to heal.
right?
Like, wow.
But it's a lot. Healing is not, it's not a cute thing.
Yeah.
Healing is
it's a process.
It's a process, and it's a lot of pain as well. And I feel like people don't want to see that for what it is. It's healing is pain, baby. You're gonna feel some pain, okay, and that's okay, because that's after
Talk
that pain
to them,
you
Taj.
need
Talk to them.
you
Talk
you
to
gonna
them.
hear you gonna heal. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just take your time in therapy. Be patient, because you never know. Each therapist that you get at the end of the day, they serve their purpose. Every
Period.
therapist that I had 5 to 6 therapists, y'all. They all serve their purpose.
Of course.
So,
that's a
yeah.
good way to look at it.
Yeah, they all serve their purpose. So just take them for what they is. If you don't like them, move on to the next. It's just like y'all and y'all dating. So, because I don't date, so just do that.
I do date, but I don't date my therapist. Listen, I remember we were talking about this. To be honest,
Yeah.
right? This is my opinion, of course, and talking about what you're talking about. I think that when I'm advocating, when I'm doing all these things, mind y'all, that's what I do. But I think that when we're looking into therapy, I told you this earlier, I told you this before, when we do talk, me and Taj talk all the time, put culture in front of therapy. It's so important. Me being Mexican, listen, mi gente. Necesitan escucharme cuando les digo de que necesitamos cultura enfrente del tema de terapia.
Yes, I
Yeah.
don't know what you just said.
we need culture in front of therapy.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll make a big difference, especially for my Chicano community when it comes down to like, hey, can you understand what we're going through? Can you not, put us in a corner? Can you try to, elevate and support us rather than demonize, or better said, go crazy
Yeah.
on us? Because it's like, certain things are built for certain people without getting crazy out here. And I just think that we need all the support we need.
Yes.
Do you not agree?
I agree.
I agree. Unity, and also, God damn it, I love how you said that too, Taj.
What?
Healing can hurt. Yeah. I think that's the realest thing for sure. Like,
Yeah. it wouldn't hurt.
it's because like, fudge. It's like, it's a process, dude.
Yeah, it hurt real bad. I'll be like, ooh, I ain't never felt this before.
I'm like, I'm healing. It's so, dude, no, it's so relatable, dude. It's like, do I want to heal right now? No, but I have to go through it. Yeah, no, I have to go through it. I forgot we were talking about how you heal, like how you cope. Did I talk about how I cope?
How do you cope?
With you, talking with my friend. Nah, the way I cope, no, I'm just saying. The way I hope is, going to the gym. Going to the gym and talking to my friends and working all day.
Yeah.
You call me a workaholic, but I'd rather be working than crying. Yeah. I'd rather be working, and we got projects coming up.
Yeah.
We got things coming up, but like I said, I think that the best thing you can do is get yourself a good support system.
Yeah, for sure.
Our next episode.
Yes.
Support systems.
Support systems.
Yes. Gotta do it. Support systems. Let me tell you, Taj, it's been very delightful being here with you, but I feel like the $1 million question I've got to say is, what do you feel like we need to talk about more? Because I feel like we could talk all day, we could kiki, of course, but what is it that you feel we need to talk a little bit about more, about your company and stuff like that?
Well, I'll say we need to talk about more of what happiness looks good on you actually means. And what I say personally, for me, and just period throughout the world, it means to take care of yourself. And once you do the steps to take care of yourself, and just be free in who you are. That's what it really means, is to be free in who you are and just own who you are too as well. Like Alan, I could say happiness looks good on you when you doing your work and doing you're the best version of yourself when you out there, when you're advocating for your school, your community. That's what happiness is. Being yourself, being your authentic self and showing up, just your best, even if you're not at your best, but it's really taking care of yourself, because I didn't know how to take care of myself until I got to San Francisco State. I didn't know what to do. I was distracted by a million things, and I just, I was used to that. And then once I got to San Francisco, I was just like, what do Taja want? What do Taja love? Where do Taja want to go? I didn't know that, And so I feel like once I started doing the work on myself, that's when I found what makes me happy. And that's all the rituals I do, and especially meditation. When it comes to meditation, running, journaling, doing workouts, yoga, all that stuff. That's what makes me happy. That's what I love doing. And yeah.
I feel like when we talk about happiness too, it's like the feeling.
Yeah.
I think, again, I grew up in a very specific way where feelings weren't very much acknowledged. How do you acknowledge happiness? Like, how do you, like, if you're feeling happy, I struggle sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel happy. This must be a wrong feeling. Like, it's hard for me. Does feeling happy come natural to you, or do you have to work to find happiness?
I feel like you have to create it.
Okay.
I basically created my happiness with all those rituals that I did. And when I'm doing something that I love to do, you feel it inside. You will know that it makes you happy. You'll feel that sense of joy, that sense of peace. Like, okay, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel it. And when you start to take care of yourself more, you'll feel it too. And anybody else too.
I think that is definitely something we all have to work towards.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a better message to pass, because it's like people often don't have that opportunity. And if they do, at least with me, it's like, it's very nice to feel happy. But it feels like, for instance, like we have to continuously build those realities. You know what I mean? And I think that that's pretty much what I have for you. Yes. At least for me, I know it's very important for everyone listening. As we start this, we got to give you your flowers. So let's start there. Let's finish there, better said. I think that it's impressive what you're doing, Taja. I'm going to call you the young CEO, because that's what you are. And also, you look amazing. But definitely this branding is so spot on, because happiness does look good on you. When you smile, it's like a whole different version. It's like, damn! You look so beautiful when you smile, friend. And I think that that's kind of like what good marketing is. When you have something that you're passionate about, like you just shared with us, and then also that resonates with you. So it's like the fact that you're able to embody what you're doing, that's impressive. So congratulations.
Thank you.
This is our first, attempt in basically pushing things out, manifesting out into the universe. That's
Great
what
things.
we do. Great things, but also I gotta say, we gotta put in that work. We gotta make sure we're taking care of ourselves and also protecting our energies.
Yes.
Protecting our energies, because let me tell you, it's important. But I think for those listening, for sure, what are your social media accounts?
Yes.
We would love to follow you. We would love to support you. And of course, if you have any events.
Yeah, so right now, no, I don't have any website. The Instagram is coming out soon, but for more updates, my personal Instagram right now is Taja, TAJZZZZ right now. TikTok is Taja Chapman, TAJZACHATMAN. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But I will definitely keep you guys updated on the website, when I pull out the Instagram for Happiness Looks Good on You. Everything is coming out soon. It's definitely taking me some time because, I'm mainly the only person doing this. But I have a lot of support. I do have a lot of support, but it's up to me when it comes to pushing things out. So, but yes, that's all.
All right. Well, there you go, everybody. I hope y'all are out here supporting your girl Taj. because support goes both ways. And I think that I'm going to be here to support you, friend. And I definitely appreciate you. And I feel very honored to share space with you. Thank you for considering me, but also all power to you. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for as a friend, to support you. And I'm so happy personally because it is about mental health. And secondly, because it is spearheaded by, you know, my friend. So may you have great things coming for you. And damn, y'all better tune in.
Please. Thank you.
Ah!